His daily briefing, Governor Asa Hutchinson laid out the criteria that needs to be met before he and other state officials feel it's safe to slowly reopen businesses. Fox 16's Jay Burr at today's meeting and joins us with more about what needs to be accomplished. Jay.
Yeah, exactly right, Kevin. Governor Asa Hutchinson reviewing some of that gateway criteria in terms of what needs to happen medically here in Arkansas, and they will use some of that in terms of what they will do when they decide to finally loosen up restrictions, potentially come May 4th. Now, these are just part of the White House's recommendations, but the states will have some flexibility on these. But what they're looking for is a downward trajectory in influenza-like illnesses and COVID-19 symptom-related cases over a 14-day period. Also, documented cases of COVID-19 or a downward trend in the percentage of cases as long as testing is maintained at certain levels or even potentially increased, hence the reason for the big push and surge over the weekend. Now, officials say that the supply chain for these supplies has improved, and with the state having an inventory right now, Governor Asa Hutchinson says Arkansas in a good spot. But also, hospitals must be able to treat patients without crisis care and have plenty of testing for healthcare workers, which the state has made a priority since the beginning of this pandemic. Now, also, the state is resuming elective surgeries today, and one of those reasons those were suspended was because of the reasoning to save personal protective equipment resources. That situation has also improved greatly.
Our supply chain continues to grow, and what we're seeing is that there's now multiple channels for that protective equipment to get to the clinics and the hospitals. It's partly their supply chain, it's partly what comes from the FEMA channels, and it partly comes from the state. And so with all of that combined, we're much more optimistic and comfortable as to where we are with the PPE.
The governor also touching on the meat processing industry here in Arkansas and says as of right now there is no shortage of supply. He has been in constant update with them as well. Also, Dr. Nate Smith mentioning that they have inspected some of the meat processors here in the state, not for any violations or anything like that, but just to make sure that they are putting those health guidelines that they have here in the state into practice. And also, as I said, the supply chain appears to be currently okay when it comes to those meat processors. Live from the state capitol, Jay Burr, Fox 16 News.
All right, Jason.